again here, but now we're across the world, not in the apex or anything like that. We're over here in Shanghai, China, where Minyang Zhang takes on Johnny Walker, which is a pretty random card if I'd say so myself, but they do need to have these China cards and stuff across the world. I'd rather this than the apex because it'll probably be good numbers there. Um, Last week, a back and forth card. Prelims were dogs and dogs. I will say I warned you guys about Kaya Sakura. Uh, what else? Yeah, it was a back and forth card. It just came down to it.
Shit,
Actually,
man.
honestly, women's MMA and the podcast collab is what honestly blessed, and me having to take under
Loopy.
and me having to take under 2.5 rounds on the Hooper fight because Hooper was too juiced. So thank you, sportsbooks for that one. Because I would have took Chase Hooper for sure for multiple units, but the under 2.5 looked better to me, and he ended up getting knocked out. So without further ado, we'll get this card
Loopy.
started. Oh well, we also there's a couple of fight organizations around. We're gonna start having a couple picks here and there, possibly for Lux Fight League in Mexico. Their odds are out now. Um, we have Road to the UFC. We might have one or two picks. I do have one or two picks for the end that we'll put on for that, and then if depending on how long we're taking, we'll have now PFL will probably be over by then, but we'll try to get you something for Road to UFC. Without further ado, we'll get started. We start the night off with an absolute banger. We got Uran Satybaldiev taking on Dr. Nurgozhay. So Dr. Nurgozhay got fraud checked in his first fight. Missed weight by 4.5 pounds. Um, as a minus 400 favorite, and he got Kimura by Brandon Ribeiro. Has that eye twitch wipe thing that he does, like a tick or something. I don't even know what it is, but he does that. He has a solid sub game with heel hooks and other stuff on his resume. He's a solid grappler with top pressure and stuff because he has a bigger frame. He's pretty big for 205. He struggles to make weight. Um, Questionable tank, but decent at laying down on people and employing top pressure. Then on the other side, Uran Satybaldiev. He fought on 3 days' notice in his first fight. Up a weight class, had like a 50-pound weight difference against Martin Boudet, who, as you see, not with the UFC anymore, went back to Octagon. But he was winning multiple fights. Beat Buchecha, who we also called on that Boudet. But powerful long striking for Satybaldiev is most of his like point of emphasis. He gets into these wars, but he's been shown to be hurt sometimes in those wars against some questionable comp and questionable power. He hasn't gone out, but he's been sat down against some guys that would be light work and not even Dana White Contender Series caliber guys. Don't check leg kicks at all. Does not check leg kicks. Like he's not checking them. You can rip if Edson Barbosa was the same size, like he would kill this guy's leg. But great forward pressure for him, and that's what he usually does. He just goes there and wants to engage in a war. And Saudi's long range can generate a lot of power. And we got to see if Nurgozhay respects the jab, and that's going to be big on this fight. And you got to look for who controls the scrambles because the dominance in the grappling is what I think Nurgozhay is going to have to go with here because Uran, although he does have long, crisp striking, he's been shown to take big shots, and Dr is pretty technical when it comes to the striking. Dr has more accurate striking than Uran. Um, his punishing leg kicks, then I think that might hurt Uran's forward pressure. If he takes, he's going to be getting his legs ripped, and he's gotten hurt with leg kicks before. I just see Dr having more paths to victory. I can obviously see Uran edging out a nice decision. I don't really see him finishing Dr. So I can see Uran getting a decision victory, but overall I'm going to lean with the value on the dog and Dr. I think he gets back. He looked decently crisp in the striking, and Ribeiro is one of those tall, lengthier guys who just got him in a Kimura, and I think Uran could have been in that Kimura as well. Uh, it's all about Dr. if he can get this to the ground. I do think he's the crisper striker as well. So, uh, as a dog money, I like DR overall. His spread would probably be a nice angle or maybe an over. I don't think he'd be able to get Uran out there early, but the odds are juiced towards the over at. Oh no, the over 2.5 at -115. I think there's relative value there. Maybe if you can get an over 1.5, I'll pull up Bet365 right now for that. But probably getting that like -200 range. But I overall I'm gonna leave with the +3.5, which isn't out yet, or the over 1.5 at -220 parlay piece. But DR Nurgozhay by decision for the overall prediction. What are you thinking, Unc?
Yeah, I got Satybaldiev due to Iran because he's I checked the tape and he's like longer and has that like kinetic energy striking where like they it's like they use their long limbs and then when you get zapped with it, it's like oh shit. And unless Dyer wrestles and like grips him up, but I even think Sadabaladev his takedown defense isn't like trash. I mean, I saw him working on the ground and also working some offensive wrestling in the regional tape that I saw. So like, I definitely think there's a possibility that Dyer could grind out a decision, but like the way, and I know this is like not the best, but you Sotobaldiv kind of reminds me of like the way like Nate Diaz and like some of those like longer guys with longer like arms like strike they stay like and Protez is kind of a good one but he has like all types of different type of striking but the point is the way that they carry their bodies and their striking is like very loose and controls distance very well and I think Dair is a guy that doesn't can maybe do the ins and outs as well. He's more just like an in go guy. So and he's big and he's strong. I mean, he does use kicks, but like when he engages, it's not like in and out. It's like club, 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 out. And I think Sada Baladiev will be hitting him at the end of his punches and stuff. So I'm taking Sada Baladiev by uh but I'm taking Sada Baladiev money line.
Would you lean his decision? Like for overall prediction wise, what would you take?
Mm, round prop.
All right. I was just saying for
Like I don't know.
prediction wise.
If it what's the double chance for KO or
I
decision?
wasn't
Like if
saying a
it's not
bet. I wasn't
astronomical.
saying a bet. I was just saying your overall prediction of the outcome.
My overall,
Yeah.
I think Sadabaldiev will win by decision, like it with no bets.
Mo's in the audience. I invited you, so Mo should be hopping in soon. I don't
Yeah,
know why he didn't join.
Mo, you have a thing to join.
But we'll move on to the next fight, and we'll just catch up with Mo whenever he decides to hop in. Second fight.
Says here questions.
Yeah, I sent him the request to hop in, but he hasn't yet. So on to the next one, and we'll get back to the Saudi Baldiev one in a second for his opinion. But we have Xiao Long taking on Su Young Yu. So Xiao Long, you've seen him on these Road to the UFCs and Dana White Contender Series, 3 fights combined in those. 36 career fights already, and he's only 27 years old. Flying knees, high variance striking, good cardio, and he likes to close distance and bang in the pocket. He's just one of those. He just wants to brawl. High volume striking, but he's also shown vulnerabilities in the striking. And I've seen like in striking like when standing up and they're exchanging, he seems like a second slow, and people catch him with jabs really easily, or like at the end of like exchanges, he'll get clipped a little bit because he's pretty slow with his reactions. But he's physically strong, and he's like one of those brutes. He's just gonna typically swing first, and he's coming for your head. And he'll be there for 3 rounds. Like he will be there. Like when the time comes, he's still on the same pressure. But he plants his feet pretty flat, so on takedown defense it is pretty questionable. But I haven't seen a lot of his takedown defense. It has been tested, but guys on the regional scene, I won't really go into that too much. And then you have Yu out of South Korea, and despite his name Yu Jitsu, it seemed like earlier on the regional scene he didn't really worry about his grappling, at least to an extent. Like he has 5 sub wins, and they're from years ago, but he's been using like top pressure. But he has some pretty good lateral movement, and he flows in and out of range well for a guy who has um I guess named Yu Jitsu. But uh, I think that in the striking exchanges, he will be quicker in and out than Rongzhu. But he has cardio as well, and he's been to the 4th round multiple times, been a champion in the small regional scene, but has been shown to shell up if he can't get away and he uses that lateral movement, and if you get him against the cage. That's how I saw him get finished on the regional scene. Um, Long Zhao could definitely put him in pain. His top pressure is one of his main things. When he fought AJ Cunningham, he looked like Korean Khabib. He was just on the top pressure, getting takedowns effortlessly. So that's a big point of emphasis, and that's why I'm torn on this fight. And the line's pretty close, but I see both fighters with clear paths to victory if they can employ their game plan. I think despite being at a power disadvantage, use solid his range management will limit the loaded up shots that Yao delivers, and he should be able to use his fast shots to get to the legs of Xiao and get to control time and takedowns and burn up time on the clock to secure rounds. But on the other hand, if Xiao survives early and they get reset and they're not doing this regular lay on each other tempo, um we know that Long Zhao's going to be there in round 3, and he's going to be at the same pace, if not a higher pace. So if he can walk down Su Young Yu people on the regional scene, well, at least the one, I think he was a Kazakhstan guy, he walked him down. Long Zhao has the power to hurt him, and with the body shots, but Yu via crotch sniff isn't bad. That's where I might slightly lean, but I really like the Long Zhao knockout plus 800 as a hedge spot, because I think that he could really hurt you if he gets him up against the cage and is able to use his pressure. But Su Young Yu has really good top pressure, and Zhao's takedown defense is questionable and untested. So I might have to go with Yu as a prediction. But I like a Yao spread. I think he at least wins one round in the striking. I don't think he gets finished. You got that at minus 225, which is a bit juiced, but I think that will hit. How do you feel, Unk?
So I got Yao he just fights angry, man. He just reminds me of a guy fighting angry. Long Zhao be someone took his lunch money, man. I don't know. He be pissed off the whole time fighting. His grappling is definitely in question. Su Young Yu, he's boring as shit, but somehow he sticks around, man. He pulls decisions out of his ass, and he has that tight top pressure. Doesn't really ever look to advance it, but it's there. So this is what I got for you. Lung Zhao to win by KO or Sung Young Yu to win by decision minus 125. I also like Lung Zhao plus 3.5, but it's minus 225, so that's not really a straight bet. But that's what I got. I don't know, man. Long Zhao be throwing a million strikes, he angry, bleeding, and then you just be laying on you, trying to move your arm, throw an elbow here across the face. He'll take 3/4 mount and lay on your shoulder. So very interesting grappling strategy. I don't know. So that's where I'm at with that. Overall, though, I think you might get the decision victory by being boring.
Yeah, because I think that his takedown shots are very strong. And
Definitely legit and strong.
against Quang Lee when he was fighting Su Young Yu, he could have definitely employed some more wrestling. Even the commentators were saying it. And when he did take a shot, he got it pretty easily, but Xiao looked or yeah, he looked pretty good on the get up. So this fight's definitely 50-50 as the line's pretty much implying. So I don't know, plus 3.5 is pretty juiced. Can't go wrong with that plus 800 knockout though for the odds. I think that's way off of the actual value. But we'll keep it pushing.
For long.
Yeah, long knockout is plus 800. So I was saying I think
All
that
right,
value is way off.
we'll keep
But
it pushing. In the Weston, your favorite neighborhood accountant, Wilson.
Weston, Wilson, your tax salesman taking on Yizha. So Yizha minus 1,200. And I thought like he opened like at like minus 1,400, which is crazy. But Yizha, strong clincher and grappler, looking to close range, make the fight dirty. He averages multiple takedowns a fight, but he's been stuffed against like alright guys. 14 of his 25 wins, yeah, 25 wins by the way. But 14 of his 25 wins are via submission. He has arm bars, rear naked chokes, triangles, clinch heavy against the cage, but it's mostly positional, and he's not really going for like high damage. He bounces pretty light on his feet, but he's not that fluid of a striker, and he's definitely there to be hit. He does have a Sonda background outside of grappling, and Sonda is like Chinese kickboxing somewhat. So he throws a decent amount of kicks. Then on the other side you have Weston Wilson, very tall for the division at 6'1". Um, Tapology has it listed as a 73-inch reach. That's wrong. At least on the tape that I've seen multiple people mention it in fight are either 75 inches or 76 inches. So I think he has a couple inch reach advantage here against Yizha. Not like he's um like either of these guys really want to strike, but it might end up staying on the feet for a little bit, so that might be important to note. 12 wins by submission. Uh, Weston Wilson has no decision wins out of his 17 wins. The other 5 were by knockout. His long reach, like I said before, jab. He'll engage in the striking, but it's mostly it's mostly just to open stuff up because he has terrible striking defense, and he has a very questionable chin. Uh, Super juice line on this minus 1,200 Yizha line. I won't touch this. Um, Wilson has fought some bums, and he's only in the UFC because he uh, beat Jekaseri, who I also think's a bum. So I really did have trouble seeing an easy and flawless victory path, though. I don't think Yizha is that good. I know he has a lot more fights. I think he's gonna win for sure, but I don't think he finds the sub of on Wilson. And Yizha, like I don't know if I don't think Weston Wilson. He's went to like decision like one time. He has no wins by decision. So this fight's probably not seeing the judges. I might lean on the Yizha TKO, even though he hasn't had one since 2019. I just feel like in the guard of Weston Wilson, it's going to be tough for him because of how long he is, and that's what Weston Wilson wants to do. But he's going to try to grapple, and if he gets him to the ground and he gets inside the guard, either two things going to happen, in my opinion. Unless he lays there. So 3 things. He's going to lay there. I don't think it's going to go to the decision, though, because they're going to get stood up, and they're not going to be doing that for 15, I don't think. But I think it's either going to be a TKO by ground strikes by Yizha. Maybe not knock him out, but catch him with an elbow, cut him, and get a TKO, which is at decent odds. Or you can get Weston Wilson via sub plus 1,500. Yizha has been sub before, and Weston Wilson is pretty much a submission specialist. So we've seen Yizha strike plenty in China and UAE Warriors, but against someone like Wilson, safer game plan is game plan is going to crash the pocket and try to strike. Because if they start grappling, Weston Wilson has some good jujitsu. So plus 1,500, you can't beat that. That is way off, I think. Even though I think Yizha most likely gets a TKO victory, I don't think he gets a sub. So TKO or decision are my opinions. What do you think, Unk?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of really like. I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time on this fight because it's pretty much the same breakdown. I mean, Yiz is a better striker Definitely. But one thing I noticed on the tape is he's like really stiff. Like his upper body's good and he has like a 1-2 that's powerful. But like it's not like he's like doing like feints, like moving his arms around. Like he's more like a stiff, like, type
Said
of guy.
Mo
And he
requested.
has power. What'd you say?
Said Mo requested to speak, and I invited him. I don't know why he can't join. He's typing right now, but I invited you, Mo.
It's not letting me in. I don't know why. It's happened to me before. Oh, restart Discord.
What?
Mo said it's not letting me join. Been waiting for 15 minutes. Mike, is there a way that you can go in and click something that says let him in?
I already have the invite.
Requested requested to speak. Well, how do we grant the request?
I don't
So
know.
I'm gonna continue on. Mike tries to work on getting Mo in. Uh Jesus is really stiff though. So if Weston Wilson does have a good wrestling game and a good jujitsu game. So the play here, I think, is Yizha by KO or Weston Wilson by sub, and I don't think that's crazy odds. Hold on. Yeah, Yizha by KO or Weston Wilson by sub is plus 185. And that's what I'm taking. Like, Yizha to win by submission or Weston Wilson to win by KO is minus 200, which the odds makers are thinking Yizha's going to get a sub. I don't think he's going to sub Weston Wilson. Like, Weston Wilson's good on the ground. Like, if anything, I see Weston Wilson controlling Yizha on the ground and doing positions. But that's if he can even survive Yizha's power striking and him putting together some solid combos, because when he has a lot of power when he strikes. But I think the line is absolutely outrageous, but Giza by KO I think is the way to go. But to say that he would have to stun Wilson and then jump for his neck if he's going to get a sub. It's not going to be like a clean like sub. So, yeah, that's the prediction.
Yeah, let me see what before we move on for this. Let's see what Yizha double chance is. Let's see if it's even close to real. Um, by knockout or decision. Yeah, knockout or decision plus 145. You heard? So that's the play, my opinion.
He's a double chance. He's a double
Knockout,
chance by decision.
knockout or decision plus 145 on the double chance on bet 365. I don't think he gets
All
the
right,
sub on Wilson.
or that might be the pick. But or maybe take the Weston Wilson
Submission.
sub by itself.
I feel like that's an
That has to
automatic.
be something.
That's automatic. Plus
That's
1500.
that's 1400. Yeah. So there you go. You covered all your bases there. Isa KO or decision. Weston Wilson by sub. There we go.
All right, we'll move this one on. We got Michel Pereira taking on Kyle Daukaus. Random fight on a China card here. I won't go too much into Michel Pereira. We know most of his stuff. Unorthodox striking, shoots out of a cannon in the beginning. Crowd pleaser coming off a unanimous loss to Boost Magomedov as a favorite. Tanks in question, decent takedown defense, and submissions are in his game. Um, Daukaus, brother of Chris Daukaus, he's a submission specialist. Trains out of Martinez BJJ in Philly, tight knit, grappling, heavy gym. Former CFFC champion. He got cut from the UFC and then came back just now recently. Grappling base, extensive regional BJJ comp. Overall, I'm not a fan of either of these guys, so this probably might be my pass of the card. We don't have any women's fights, so I get a free pass. But I might take this live because if Pereira can't get him out very early, I can see Pereira gassing and getting choked out. But I don't really know what I'm expecting from Kyle Daukaus here. The stuff he was fighting on the regional scene, I'm not liking it. Like competition wise, I don't think Daukaus's range advantage will help him much because Pereira's gonna rush in like an idiot, and I think he's trying to get a W here. Uh, I'm probably gonna go live though for this. I'm gonna go Pereira by knockout, official prediction, but I'm not betting on that. Be betting on something live. Over to you, Punk.
I said after Michelle Pereira sold us out in that main event that I wouldn't bet on his fights anymore because it's like Kevin Holland Jr. type crap. But Kyle Daukaus really been on the decline, and I mean he's not the same guy. Like I don't even remember, that was like 2018 or something when he was lighting people up. Like we're in 2025. Michelle Pereira is more fresh. I mean in my opinion, he has more ways of getting stuff done, and you know, I I just I don't think the fight sees the judges, so I think that's the way to go. Whatever the odds are on that. I browsed it earlier and it was something that wasn't too crazy. But yeah, to not to go decision, to fight to not go the distance is minus 170. So that's what I'm predicting. But like I think Michelle Pereira will win, but like I don't I hate to watch him fight anymore because he sold us out hard on that round main event, and like now it's just at the point where he's kind of like screwing around again. Like even if he does get wins, it's like you could win the fight in the first round, just stop screwing around, and I don't like that shit. So
Yeah, you can get
that's
fight
what it
not to
is.
go the distance at minus 155 or minus 158 on FanDuel right now. That's probably what I would take on this fight. What you just said. So you get a decent odds on FanDuel. We'll move on from this fight. Not a fan of it. Now we have Rongzhu versus Austin Hubbard. This is a fight that actually I was not expecting to be as torn as I was before I watched tape. Rongzhu on the base with some developing grappling, but he's not refined there. Loose and fluid style, throws a lot of combination. He's heavy on his boxing, like a lot of quick 1-2s, body shots, counter right hand, willing to stand in the pocket and trade. Yeah, his head movement's pretty sharp, like I was saying with the boxing, but he leaves his chin high sometimes. His game plan's low key like long jows. He's just trying to box. He's like a bar brawl kind of guy. He's been fighting for a long time, has an extensive record. Um, he wants a high paced boxing match. If he's overwhelmed, he'll shoot for reactive takedowns, but I don't really see him doing that here. He's comfortable in brawls, but he's sometimes reckless. Then Hubbard on the other side of it uses wrestling to control tempo rather than using it as a primary like sub threat. He's just trying to control tempo and burn time. Striking is more technical than it is explosive. He prefers volume like punches and combinations over one shot like knockout power. He's strong and he does not quit on takedown attempts. A lot of times you'll see him get like need or like lose the attempt and he's still shooting for your legs. So that's gonna be important here. And I've like been surprisingly back and forth, like I said. Hubbard works best if he can avoid being hit with heavy combinations, and he's never been knocked out before, so that's something to note here. Rongzhu has failed to knock out other guys in the regional scene. His last fight was Cody Steele, even though he won pretty flawlessly. He was getting tagged up on the feet against Steele. So Austin Hubbard isn't a slouch in the striking. This line's getting pretty steep, so I think Rongzhu is gonna win, but it's like a very close fight to me. It's gonna be um, classic patient wrestler versus explosive striker. The durability favors Hubbard, and unpredictability favors Rongzhu. So this fight comes down to whoever's going to control the pace. I'm looking for Hubbard to try to neutralize the first 2 rounds with wrestling. Uh, he's taken down some decent guys, but in the striking, Rongzhu's been taken down by some very questionable guys in the grappling. So I think Austin Hubbard will be able to get him down. And if that's the thing, Austin Hubbard doesn't have that low of IQ. I think he's going to be able to sense that he's at a striking disadvantage and that power is going to be real, and he's going to try to close the distance. I think Austin Hubbard's spread is possibly in order. I think plus 3.5 to minus 125. Because Rongzhu thrives in chaos. I don't know if Austin Hubbard's going to get slept. I think there isn't a 0% chance because Rongzhu has the power. Austin Hubbard in a firefight is going to be his clearest path, but I don't know. Hubbard looks good with the grappling, but he's changed takedowns off counters and stuff, and Rongzhu, I don't know. Rongzhu's like ever improving now, so I'm gonna have to side with him, but I don't really see he's gonna. I don't see how, but a decision, but a close decision. I could see a split on this one. 'Cause that's Austin Hubbard's thing. So split decision or Austin Hubbard spread would probably be my lean here. How do you feel?
Well, first of all, HotHand's in here. I don't know how he instantly just got in. We still can't get Mo on the server. So when we take the sponsor break, we might have to reload it for a minute. We'll figure that out. But uh, I think that Austin Hubbard's spread is the way to go because I think he's way too durable to get knocked out by Rongzhu. Like, I don't know. I followed Hubbard since he was on the Ultimate Fighter with McGregor, and he's been through some wars. I think that he'll put Rongzhu on his back more times than Rongzhu has time to strike at him, if that makes sense. But I think Rongzhu ultimately is going to do enough in front of the judges and all that other BS because of where it is and everything else to win the fight. So Austin Hubbard's spread plus 3.5 is minus 125, and I think that I think he'll win a round. So I mean, uh, I think I think that he'll get one judge's lean if he's dumping Anjou on his head the whole time. So I'm gonna take the plus 3.5 at minus 125 on Austin Hubbard, but I think Rongzhu wins the fight overall.
All right, Hot Hand jumped in. So Hot Hand before just really fast, really fast. All right, so who do you got for DR and uh Iran or like what a pick
Uh,
or something?
give me Uran. He had a great performance against Boudet, pushing like 60 pounds, and he was barely getting taken down. I mean, he gave up a lot of control time, but I think Uran definitely gets the striking advantage. So give me Uran.
All right, how about Zhao Long versus Su Young Yu?
Su Young Yu. I'm not very confident in these cats, but give me Su Young Yu.
Um, and then obviously Yizha versus Weston Wilson.
I like Yizha, but he is not worth minus 1,200. And Weston Wilson is a finisher, especially in the sub department. So if you're gonna bet, I would bet Weston Wilson because the odds aren't there for Yizha or whatever the fuck his name is.
And then Michelle Pereira versus Kyle Daukaus.
Give me Michelle Pereira. I think his style of fighting is going to be difficult for Kyle Daukaus. Give me Pereira by finish.
And then obviously this fight right here, Austin Hubbard and Rongzhu.
Yeah, I think Rongzhu is the way more technical and better striker. I think he's going to light Hubert up on the feet, but Hubert does have a chin. But Hubert has the potential to make this a dirty fight with clinches and takedowns. So I didn't hate the plus 3.5 play that Unk dropped, but I just could not get myself to bet with Austin Hubert. So I like Rongzhu money line or like a round 2 or round 3 to start.
All right. Um, so we'll keep this one pushing, and we'll move on to the next fight. We have Loner Kavanagh taking on Charles Johnson. Um, Loner Kavanagh, undefeated prospect coming up. Um, aggressive striker, hybrid grappler kind of style. He likes to push the pace and force exchanges. he can transition to ground and pound and strikes if you don't uh get going in the striking realm. But his fight IQ is moderate. He tends to rely on aggression rather than calculation. Uh, his pace is super high. He likes to dictate the fight and come forward with the pressure using cage warriors. So that pretty much already says half the stuff that I would want to say. Then you have Charles Johnson, 34-year-old vet, balanced striker, wrestling defense. Uses his striking to set up takedown defense rather than using it to open up like offensive takedowns. Uh, he adapts mid-fight pretty well with how the overall movement of his opponents going. Like at least over 1.5 rounds when he's going through this, he's at a high level, winning the third round or at least figuring out what his opponents do. Um, Lost to Ramazan Tamirov recently, but that was a very close fight on the cards. Tamirov popped for steroids recently. Um, he throws straight punches and low kicks, mixes them with counters. Patient inside the pocket, and he rarely gets reckless. And you've seen him knock out Josh Van, even though he's not really known for one punch knockout power. So Josh Van, arguably the best boxer in the division, uh, and he caught him. He caught him with on the top of the temple and put him out with an uppercut. So, uh, yeah, it's Kavanagh versus Johnson's high pressure aggression. And if Charles Johnson's in the right headspace, I really do think he's live in this fight. And I do think Father Time might be catching up, and I don't know where his head is currently, but I think that he is more alive than this minus 205 line. Loner Kavanagh is going to have to lay on him. I think he'll lose the striking exchanges, and round by round, Johnson thrives if he survives the early storms. Kavanagh thrives if he can land first. So Kavanagh's been shown to slack on some of his counter striking. The fight comes down to who opposes their style first. The measure to control from Charles Johnson, or the explosive pressure from Loner Kavanagh. I think that Johnson, more times than not, will be able to employ his style. It's tough to bet on a guy with this much of an age difference, though. I do think the value is there. Charles Johnson by decision would probably be a better bet on the odds to capitalize on uh his value. Because I think that's the only way he really wins this fight. I don't think he knocks out Kavanagh or gets a sub. Um, and if you're gonna play Kavanagh, I'd probably play a method rather than paying minus 205 chalk to put him in a parlay. I don't really see him at like almost 70% implied probability. I'm not paying that this early, even though he did beat Ochoa, who I'm pretty high on, and he also beat I think it was Santos. So it can go either way on the overall prediction wise. But I do think Charles Johnson has good value here. How do you feel, HotHand?
Yeah, I called this out earlier as one of my underdog plays. I don't know how Charles Johnson is an underdog against Loner Kavanagh. Yeah, Kavanagh he's young and he's exciting and he has the hype, but he hasn't fought the people Charles Johnson has fought. He doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the age, which age could play for a good factor as well. So give me Charles Johnson money line. I definitely like Johnson here as the dog, and I do like Charles Johnson. If you do an alternate spread, he's never been finished in all of his fights, and Loner Kavanagh doesn't have too many finishes. So I think a plus 5.5 or a plus 3.5 or plus 7.5, if you want to hammer it, is all definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, I didn't even look at that. Plus 7.5 is minus 310. I think that's a very worthwhile parlay piece. Um,
Yeah, I'm definitely taking that.
all right, Unc, how you feeling?
So Charles Johnson throws crazy shit. Knocked out Josh Fan. His pace is all over the place. Sometimes it's like real intense, and he's doing all these crazy up elbows and spinning shit and all this other stuff. And then other times he's lulling you to sleep. And Loner Kavanagh, he's just like he's in your face trying to bang, and he's got good long combinations, and so I don't think AC the judges. Uh, let me pull up what my bet here was. And if they do see the judges, it's in Charles Johnson's favor. So okay, so this fight to not go the distance is plus 235. Like if Charles Johnson did that to Josh Van on like a blitz and like late and being down rounds, like Loner Kavanagh starts, not trying like, beating him up a little bit, and then Charles Johnson puts on some striking clinic and clips him. Plus 235 fight to not to go to distance. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Um, I if not though, then we got uh Kavanagh by decision, which is minus 120. But if it goes to decision, I don't think Charles Johnson. I think if it goes to decision, that means it's at the point where Loner Kavanagh put enough on Charles Johnson to get a decision win. Because I think Charles Johnson will knock him out, honest to God, before it gets to that point. Like I went back and watched the tape, and like I don't know why everyone's like sleeping on him. Like his striking, the shit Charles Johnson does in his striking is like really high level stuff. So I don't know. Loner Kavanagh got to really put the he's really got to like work the body, work the head. He's got to do good combinations. Like you know what I mean? Like all right, Mo says he got fucked by Roman Nazarov, whatever. All right, yeah, but he also got crazy. Like so, fight to not go distance plus 235, or Lona Kavanagh pulls off the decision.
All right, we'll keep this one pushing. We'll go over to Gage Young taking on Maheshate. So, not gonna go crazy in depth for this fight, but it's pretty much it's pretty much explosive striker versus control oriented wrestler. Maheshate is looking to land that hammer fist, and Gage Young's could put you out and does have decent striking, but also able to employ top pressure to grab you and put you down. Um, it's my overall lean in this fight. It's gonna come down to whether Maheshate can stay on the outside and avoid takedowns. And round by round, Maheshate thrives in early explosive exchanges. Young thrives by slowing the tempo. So if Maheshate landing early, later in the rounds, I think the takedowns are gonna be easier to come. I don't think this fight's going the distance. Uh, I like Gage Young here at a decent price. I think his line's around pick'em. At least the last time I saw it, we don't know how, but minus 125 now. Um, I think that he gets this one done. I think the not to go the distance is also worthwhile in that. Because even then, you can capitalize on the Maheshate possible swinging for the fences knockout. And if you go fight not to go the distance, um, you can take fight not to go the distance at uh plus 105, and then also take Gage Young by decision. And that's on some timing. But I do think Gage Young. Uh, I probably wouldn't take the under now that I'm thinking about it, because I do think Gage Young wins possibly a wrestling fucking decision. But late round 2 or 3 might get a little foggy. So like a Gage Young in round 2 to start, I think that's worthwhile. But anything past that, I don't want to fuck around with the round props now that it's coming into my head. But I do like Gage Young in this spot. How do you feel, Unc?
Oh, he ain't in here no more. It's just me and you, Mike. I don't know where
Oh,
Unc went.
take over.
Yeah. I like Gage Young here. I think he's gonna be able to implement his wrestling and rack up control time. I just think he has to be a little wary on the feet of the power and the wild striking coming in his way. But he's young, so that's what kind of scares me. I hope he properly trained and had a good camp, knowing what's in front of him. But like I said, I think Age Young will be able to implement the takedowns in his wrestling and build control time. So I like Age Young at minus 122.
There's Unc. Let's see if he gets a second.
Yeah, baby.
All right, you're up.
Experiencing technical difficulties. What are we on, Gage Young? I can't see the screen.
Can't?
No, but that's I think that's on my computer.
Yeah,
Who
either
are we
way.
on?
Gage Young
The
versus
gate
Maheshate.
Zhang fight. Yeah, so that's a coin flip fight, 50-50, and you guys probably already described it way better than I could. So I'm going to use my voluntary pass on the card because everyone's allowed to get one. So I'm taking it on this.
All right. We'll move on then. Wait, no, yeah, because HotHand just took Gage Young. So this is the quick little intermission. Uh, this is the Fade Factory Discord. Obviously, is where we're coming from. Make that 12 consecutive profitable cards, not 11. I didn't get to edit it, but our we're coming back, and we started off the prelims pretty slow, and we got it back somehow. Oh, the collab parlay blessed up. Lupi Godinez decision blessed up. Um,
Oopie!
Lerone Murphy blessed up some people. I used my pass on that fight. Uh, it was overall it was pretty good in the main card. Besides Kamzat not getting the finish, but my favorite fighter, so I could care less. But hop in the Fade Factory, free cord. Bunch of different sports, models, university section, all for free. A couple handicappers within the top 5%, top 10% on Picket. All verified track numbers, no fluff, no random ass slips off Twitter. Our shit is all tracked, verified, and we're not using someone else's reads. We're in the lab getting the shit ourselves. So get right or get left, per usual. We'll move on to. I'm not even gonna attempt to say this guy's name. Nueraji taking on Kiefer Crosbie. So what I've noticed from the Thai likey guy or whatever, comes out very tall. He's Muay Thai based. You could see that almost pretty instantly. He has strong elbows, strong clinch work, with the Thai clinch, not really with grappling, but he does have some submission in his game. Overall, though, he's mostly a striker. Exciting, has that strong combinations. The 1-2 is on point. He has a strong left hand. He puts people out. I've seen some of his finishes on the regional scene that were against questionable competition, but were still dialed in nonetheless. That you couldn't even doesn't matter who he was fighting, they were still dialed strikes. Kiefer Crosbie, um, older guy, uh, he's in the brawls too. He's into this fight. I think is just ending in knockout. I'm just gonna get that out the way first. I'm not minus 440 is a bit ridiculous. Around minus 500 now. I don't know about that line whatsoever. Not paying that. I think for Crosbie, or I think the Nueraji has been shown to in exchanges. He has been leaving his chin high, has been hit, not really hurt, but he has been shown to feel some of the strikes coming back his way. So I wouldn't jump to the cash counter to try to get minus 500. I think this fight is gonna end inside the distance. I don't know what. Let me see what the line is on that. Under 1.5 minus 200. So I guess the books agree with me. But um, winning method, fight to end by knockout is -2. Oh my god, minus 300. I don't know. I think that's what it's gonna be, but I'm not paying that. I might as well just pay like a not round 3 not to start. I don't want to pay juiced on Nueraji. I'm gonna lean him to get the knockout, but round 3 not to start minus 310, under 2.5 maybe, or no, under 1.5. But that's where I'm leaning in this fight. How about you, HotHand?
Yeah, I think they made this card the first fight in the main event just based off a finish coming. The only thing that scares me is Crosby has a chin, and he's known for getting subbed. That's why I'm iffy on playing the Chinese dude by knockout. But I do think there's a finish, and I like the Chinese cap by KO slash sub just based off Crosby's track record. He tends to get subbed and could hang with the powerful strikers. So Give me the Chinese dude KO/sub.
Hold up. Let me see what Mo's saying. More, he's saying Nurgozhay by club and sub plus 550. Crosbie has a chin sub plus 550. That's where Mo's going. Mo, you can text him there and I'll say some of your shit. But yeah, Unk, step in.
Under 1.5 rounds. Kiefer Crosbie comes out of SBG Ireland. When have they ever produced anybody that could wrestle ever? Never. They never have. Nueraji is straight Muay Thai. I'm talking. He's even lifting the lead leg for the teeps and all that. He's very embraced in that style. So you're just gonna see dudes striking. And I mean, Crosby got the chin, so maybe he puts Nurgozhay out, or maybe somebody gets stunned and they jump for a sub. But like under -1.5 is like -190 right now. And I mean that's probably the only, playable bet that I really came across. Because, like most saying, like everybody's saying, like Crosby got a chin, so I don't really want to go all in on Nueraji to win by KO, and I don't really want to go all in by Crosby to win by KO. But like Crosby coming from SBG Ireland, like that's all they want to do is strike and knock people out and make big highlights. And Nueraji, I mean, it's in China, like he's trying to stunt, he's trying to show his skills, what he could do. Like I just think that there's going to be so much action that it's not going to go. It's not going to go it's not going to go to the judges. So, uh, yeah, under -1.5 is -195, and that's probably like the only thing I really see that's playable. Like my overall pick would probably be under 2.5, which is -475. But you got to put that in with like 3 other pieces or something.
Yeah.
So
So we'll keep it pushing. And we'll go to Sumudaerji taking on Kevin Borjas. I think this is gonna be an extremely solid fight. I'm pretty sure Sumudaerji, the Tibetan monk, he was my lock of the year earlier. I don't think we even did the podcast, but he was my lock of the year and one of my most confident picks from when I actually started diving in and actually getting into the film against Mitch Raposo. It got a whole lot sweatier than I thought, but it was my lock of the year, and now I see him over here -180 against Borjas. I'm not understanding the line. Borjas, I thought had an extremely competitive fight last time out. I didn't think that. Um. Well, he beat was it Lazy Boy recently? I think he's a very solid striker. He's a tough guy. I don't think he might get. I don't think a knockout is really on the menu for him. He has that Peruvian chin. Sumudaerji though, extremely good kicks. Overall, great striking style. He does put a lot of stuff out there. So it might be a point battle. I think that's what it's going to be. I think Borjas might have some clinch work in him. He has that high tempo. Sumudaerji might catch him coming in, but I don't think it's going to be something that's going to put him out. Borjas spread, obviously a decent read, a good read. No, that's a hot hand submission into the podcast collab. But yeah, I think that this one goes to the judges, and I don't know. Suma by decision is what Mo just said. Yeah, I could see just a point battle. I could see either one. 30-27s. Yeah, I could see whatever with the striking. But I think that Borjas will be able to snag around. It is in China, so you do have to think about that. But Sumudaerji striking, he said specifically because of the Chinese judging. Yeah, he might get it might be like a 29-28, 29-28, and then 30-27. The backdoor 30-27. So you might want to alt it up.
this
Maybe
is This is true. Now that we review these facts, I may want to look at over props because, yeah.
But yeah, I probably look at an over prop. And then how do you feel about this? Unk, how do you feel about this?
I think Samaja Morda Borde has it's his fight to lose versus Borjas, but I think Borjas could definitely, really get the better of him and put some good strikes and good lumber on him. Isn't a hot hands pick plus 3.5 Borjas?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like I'm right. I would ride with that. From what I saw on tape, I mean, Samaja Sabore Samaja how Samaja whatever
Sumudaerji. Sumudaerji.
Samaja Samaja he's good and he's fluent, but like I don't think he really fought anybody that could put really like the lumber on him. You know what I mean? I mean, Borjas is really going to be in his face and be pressuring, and so I don't know. I'm split. I do not have a who I think is going to win. I'm completely split. I think Borjas
I'd
can
probably lean
easily.
Sumudaerji by points.
I If I have a gun to my head, that's probably what I would take. But yeah, I mean, he's only been really susceptible to submissions in the past, and I don't see Borjas getting a submission. So, I think that it'll be a striking and clinch, ugly fight, and I think that it'll be a split decision. That's my prediction. So, I think Borjas a spread is a great pick.
All right, we'll keep this one moving. And we got Sergey Pavlovich taking on Waldo Cortez Acosta. Um, Sergey pretty much get maybe not a step down, or is Waldo getting a step up? This fight, I don't even know. Waldo's been get on the receiving end. I thought he lost his last fight. If I had to bet on it, I thought that he lost that 29-28. I know Mo is about to go crazy in the comment section right now. Waldo robbed my soul for 7K last fight. But yeah, so I think he is a decent striker, but I did see that he's susceptible to being hurt on power. That's what I saw in his last fight. He was hurt in the third round multiple times. That's why I thought he lost the fight. There was like a 30-27 on the card, I'm pretty sure. It was ridiculous. Uh but I think that Pavlovich is going to be able to find the strike, and I don't think those pussy ass jabs they're well to be doing from the outside is going to be able to deter him. He's not Volkov with the height, and he's not going to be able to do shit up the middle that's going to be able to stop the forward pressure. No teep kicks and shit. Pavlovich is going to be up in his grill, and he's going to be throwing leather, and I don't think that Waldo's going to be able to take one of those to the temple. I think Sergey by finish is probably going to be my lean. How do you feel, Unc? But I hate fading Waldo because like he has like I don't even it just has I think the UFC on his side. Like I could see him getting like a backdoor fucking split decision if it goes the distance. So I don't know.
He has stupid. Where's he from? Is he from
Dominican
Cuba?
Republic. He's from the Dominican Republic.
He has that stupid like Caribbean boxing shit. Remember we talked about this last time I said this? He has one of the best jabs. He's one
Yeah.
of the best jabs in the outside. Like he sucks, but his boxing is so damn crisp. That as soon as you get close to him, you get pinged with a jab or pinged with a counter strike. And I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, man. You step in, you get clocked with a counter across your chin. You're like, oh shit, hold on, let me calibrate my head here. So, but no, there's no way he does that to Sergey. Sergey literally only has a good 1-2. Mo says exactly. But his jab is like so fucking good, but Sergey's gonna put too much leather on him, close the distance. He's he's smarter. better fighter, has seen tougher fighters, and he'll be able to cut the angles off that Waldo's not gonna be able to use that jab and that double jab and then the cross on Sergey. Like that worked on these mid guys, but there's no way, man. Sergey's gonna be in his grill, or if not, Sergey will put his head on Waldo's chest and like grind him, and Waldo ain't trying to do that. So yeah, I got Sergey.
All right, we'll keep this one pushing. Hot hand. Hot hand bailed. I was in chat, and I know Mo is not taking Waldo. Go to the co-main event here. Aljamain Sterling taking on the corpse of Brian Ortega. Um, make this one quick. I just think I know Sterling is going to be in danger if he gets to the grappling round with Ortega because of his slick submissions, all that shit. But I think Sterling has good enough top pressure and good enough defensive jiu-jitsu to be able to get the dominant position to be able to either. This is 5 rounds, by the way. Sterling was so confused on why it was 5 rounds. I saw it on a podcast, but so you got to remember that because it's going to be a long time. So that gives Ortega more time to try to get submissions. But I also think that Sterling's going to have a pretty considerable striking advantage as well. I think Ortega's just past his prime. I think Sterling is live for I can see like a ground and pound TKO, not like a power thing, a volume thing. Volume TKO. Probably get let me see the odds on that really quick. But I just think Ortega chin wise is I know he hasn't been knocked out, but he's been hurt. I know Diego Lopez hurt him really early. I'm not going to compare both of their striking, but if you're looking
You
at like,
just let me know. You just let me know when you want me to take over.
yeah, you got it. After I find the knockout prop, Aljamain Sterling by knockout is plus 750. I like the odds on that just for the volume TKO if he has mount or back control. That's my spiel. Go ahead, Unc. I know you're a Brian Tega enthusiast.
I'm literally not worried about this fight like at all. Like I think I wish I'm getting married in 2 months. I wish I had like more stupid money to put on Sterling's money line. Like, cause dude, Brian Ortega is gone. He's mentally gone. He can't make weight anymore. If he made weight for this fight, he probably didn't look good. Did they release the weigh-ins yet? Are they out?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I'm dying to see that because he mentally shot out. He's physically shot out. His skills have drastically declined. It's not like he went and locked himself away in some cabin in the Russian mountains and or any type of foreign country. He's down in the woods with Jiri or something. Like he's just doing the same stuff. He's out in Cali. Like nothing changed. Aljamain Sterling has been active on a tear. Like, and I am not worried about the jiu-jitsu at all. I followed, and you know I'm the jiu-jitsu guy. Like I followed Ortega's career. Aljamain Sterling is up in the Sierra Longo school. He's got if it's a big fight, Matt Serra actually comes in, so he's in there with Serra. I mean, he Ally Quinta, who who took Khabib down for like one of the first well not the first time but one of the first times Khabib's career. Ally Quinta took him down like just all types of stuff. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Sterling at all. He's with the right people. He's in the right camp. If anything, like you said, 5 rounds. I think that. Oh yeah, I know. I'm watching it, Mo. Impa just got some crazy knockout. I know. But anyway, so I'm not worried about this at all, man. Like not at all. Like the jujitsu, I'm not worried about, and I think Sterling naturally, like, if you look at all aspects of their career, Ortega's like, or even Ortega's when he fought Volk, I still think Aljamain Sterling was a better striker. So not worried at all. Aljamain Sterling all the way.
All right, so I know that was your pick for the podcast collab. Now move on to the main event and my pick for the podcast collab. We have Min Yang Zhang taking on Johnny Walker. I don't know why they gave Johnny Walker this fight. I don't know if he's gonna have some secret grappling that he's gonna employ against Min Yang Zhang, which obviously maybe a takedown prop is gonna be in order because if he has any semblance of IQ and his brain's not mashed potatoes like I think it is, he's gonna try to go for a takedown and use some type of jiu-jitsu. His brother's Walter Walker, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know if it's a real brother, but come on, man, he has to know some type of fucking grappling. His brother's a heavyweight busting out heel hooks and shit. So
It's his half brother. It's legit his half
he
brother.
has
They
like
have the same dad.
two or three back-to-back heel hooks. That shit is wicked. But he got to know something. I think that's what he would have to do in this fight. So, Johnny Walker by submissions, obviously. Let me see what the odds are on that because I might put a couple bucks just to save a possible parlay. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be mad if you Johnny Walker by submission plus 1100. But overall, I think Min Yang Zhang is gonna do him in cartoonish fashion. Like I think he's gonna knock him out on some fucking Looney Tune shit. Like like it's gonna be a meme. I think. I really do think he's gonna get done pretty bad and pretty early. Min Yang Zhang's getting pretty juiced up on his odds. I'm trying to look for like obviously Min Yang Zhang round one, but Min Yang Zhang round 1, 2, or 3 is minus 280. So you might as well take the knockout at that point. That's my pick is the knockout or decision double chance. It was minus 280. Getting a little more juice now. But I think that Zhang gets this done pretty early, cartoonish fashion, or Johnny Walker somehow gets borrows his brother's abilities for the fight and busts out a submission. So under or Zhang knockout or Johnny Walker plus 1100. How about you, Unc?
Knowing Johnny Walker's fight IQ and how he operates, like I would need to see some hard evidence for you to persuade me to think that Johnny Walker's like gonna change his game plan. Like he went unless is he still I don't know if he's still at SPG, but he was at SPG. Like they don't wrestle, dog. They do not wrestle. Like they haven't had a wrestling guy. You know who their most successful wrestling guy was? Brad Katona. Where's he at? He's cut. So like and his brother just popped on the scene. Like it's not like when Johnny was younger and was blowing up, he was like, "Oh yeah, my brother, my brother, my brother." Like he's never talked about Volter. So this has just been recent. So Ming Ming Zhang round 1 KO minus 145. Ming Zhang round 2 KO plus 700. I don't see any freaking way this thing goes to the third round. Like Johnny Walker's a straight meathead, dude. Like we've seen time and time again, he shows no fight IQ. So you would anyway. He had Kavanagh. He had McGregor's coach in his corner. Now John Kavanagh is a good ass coach. He knows how to tell them what to do. It's a matter if they do it or not. So like, yeah, no, I have no faith in that at all, dude. Like, I don't I don't see Johnny Walker winning this in any way, shape, or form. Uh, so yeah, those two picks that I put out is what it is. Zhang is KO is knocking him out,
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's gonna get done fast.
like Looney Tune reel type stuff. Yeah.
All right, so that'll just take us into the end, and it's parlay time. Um, we have the collab parlay. Ming Yang Zhang. It's me, Mo, HotHand, and Unk, obviously. Plus 307 on Bet365. It's gonna be a four-legger. It's gonna be Sterling money line from Unk, Chang knockout or decision from me, Rongzhu money line from Mo, and Borjas plus 3.5 from HotHand. Um, um, yo, hop in the or the chat and say why you felt the Rongzhu quick. I don't think you were here when when we were on Rongzhu, so at least give him some context. And Borjas plus 2.5 might be scary because Chinese judges. Yeah, it might be scary, but I think it hits. I think Borjas is gonna steal a round off the more powerful strikes. Maybe not the volume, but he's gonna be up in his face, hitting vertical. Like he's good at lateral movement and up and down. Sumudaerji is great at range management, so I know it's gonna be a tough. That's the sweatiest. I don't know. Rongzhu's gonna be sweaty too. I think Austin Hubbard's really live in that fight as a dog. Although I think Rongzhu is gonna outclass him on the feet. I don't know if he can stay
Yeah,
on the
Mo,
feet
I'm
though.
not. I'm not shitting on you, but I think Austin Hubbard might. He's live.
Rongzhu
So
has
let's
a
see
lot of
here.
pro fight experience at 25 years old, and his hands are
This is
super
what
elite
Mo's
compared.
saying. Mike is reading what Mo's saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a quote from Mo. Rongzhu has a lot of pro fight experience at 25 years old, and his hands are super elite compared to Hubbard. He's gonna work him every way unless Hubbard crotch sniffs him. And yeah, that's where I'm scared. I'm scared of the crotch sniff. I think he could crotch sniff him. That's why I'm scared. That's why I like the
I
Hubbard
do.
spread.
I do too, Mo. He's really physical. Austin Hubbard's really physical. Did you watch him? I mean, you can't answer right away, but he was on McGregor's tough season. He's really physical. You can hedge Rongzhu with Hubbard.
2+
Two
takedowns.
plus
Yeah, that's gonna
takedowns.
be
All
good
right,
odds.
that's
Yeah,
yeah, that's good.
yeah, I like that. Yeah, we already have. I have this parlay in already. There's no going back. We're locked in. I like the parlay. There's obviously going to be some risk in MMA. Plus 3-1. We're not over here doing 4 legs for plus 102. So we're taking risks here. 3-1 on your money. Uh, obviously, thanks for joining. As always, we'll see you guys at the cash counter. Hopefully, you got any parting words, Unc?
Yeah, this fight happened, or this starts at 3 a.m. Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time. So it's gonna be a hell of a morning and a hell of a Saturday. But we're with yous, and if you made it to this far into the podcast at the end, I just want to thank you for listening, and thanks for riding with us and helping making ourselves and you some good money. And we put a lot of work into this every week, so thank you for being with us, and we'll see you at the cash counter, baby.
Oh
Unk
shit! Hold up!
out.
Hold up! Oh, hold up! Actually,
Oh,
we got a fucking wrong Aaron Tao money line for Road to UFC. If you guys see this tonight, uh, fuck, what else? There's a couple
I don't know what
guys.
any of that means.
All right, Aaron
You give
Tao
this
from he's on Road to the UFC tonight or into the morning, 6 in the morning tomorrow. So take his money line. I know Mo's in agreement on that. Uh, the rest you got to get in gems or you got to get on the free section on the Discord. Link in the description. See you guys at the cash counter.